And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the day. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He's Jalen Rose. What up, dog? I'm David Jacoby.
And on the call, check-in. Center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new stuff.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What do?
We get the people what they want.
Big World Series Game 1 win for my Red Sox.
Yep.
Big overtime win for your Pistons.
Yep.
Much to discuss today on the program. The undefeated Pelicans off to a hot start.
Yep.
And someone sued Taylor Swift because they feel like they legally have a right to go on a date with her.
Nope.
We'll be discussing all that and more, but it's Women Crush Wednesday today. And we're going to take an all-female voicemails like this.
I don't like the term crush.
Will you stop saying that every time I say it? I'm going to stop saying it just because you say that every time.
Or, no, you said it backwards. You're going to keep saying it because I say it every time.
Nah,
that's what you're really going to do.
No, it's not.
I'm trying to do that reverse psychology.
It's Women's Wednesday where we celebrate the kinder, more responsible, more intelligent gender of our species, the ladies, by taking all-female voicemails like this one.
Got to give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. This is the tribe calling from Wilmington, Delaware. First, shout out to Reg for putting us on here, and then shout out to my dad for making the best mac and cheese ever. I got 2 questions for you. First question, boss move or soft move? My dad makes me watch the Celtics game all the time. I don't like the Celtics, but my sister and my dad and my brother like it. I think they'll go good with the Podfather. Second question is, if you were still a kid, what would you be for Halloween? I heard you were passing out T-shirts. You can't forget about the kids, you know. Tribe out.
Great call.
I might shed a tear.
Great call.
That is my favorite call literally of all time.
You going to shed a tear like Derek Carr?
Well, somebody fractured my shoulder. I might have some tears. I see media people covering that story like, oh, was he crying? Have you ever gotten hit by somebody that's 300 pounds?
No.
Running as fast as they can, and the play isn't over until you're down with the ball? That kind of hurts.
Soft move or boss move, making your kid watch the Celtics, even though she doesn't like the Celtics.
Boss move. Here's why. Because even though they're watching the Celtics, more importantly, they're still watching basketball with their parent. And so even if she doesn't grow up to love the Celtics, she will still be a fan of the sport, and she would still, like Jacoby, find a way to pick her own team if she's die-easy like you.
I wish my kids would watch sports with me. They have no interest at all whatsoever. My son just wants to see the truck commercials. That's all he cares about. The truck commercials. That's all he cares about. Also, if you were still a child, what would you dress up as Halloween?
If I was a child, my go-to for a long time was like a hobo.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You dress up as a hobo?
No question. You go get like a branch or a stick or something really long, and then put like the bandana or whatever on the end, and you stuff stuff in there, put stuff in there. Like that was my go-to for a long time.
You would dress up as a hobo.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing.
Poor people problems.
My wife is the best mom in the world. And she is making Quincy a custom costume, not just buying something at the store. She's making Quincy the Q Train. He wants to be the Q Train, so she got a box, she painted it. It really looks like a subway car. It really, really does. However, here's the problem.
You sound like he got some parents that got some money.
Yep. Here's the problem. You need a Halloween costume that you can move in. You know what I mean? You need something that you're comfortable in.
Good point.
And now he's got this big box around him all day.
You're going to be stuck.
How are you going to put the box
like
on the
ball
bus?
And chain. Yeah.
Exactly. So I told her we need a backup costume too, like a mask or something for when he decides he doesn't want to wear a cardboard box anymore.
But if I was dressing up these days, that's a tough one. I would probably be I'm stumped.
I'm going Paw Patrol.
I'm really stumped.
You don't watch Paw Patrol, do you?
No.
You're missing out. You should check in on Paw Patrol.
Yeah, I'm stumped.
Venture Bay. They got new ones. Everest, Tracker.
You know what? I get a Donald Trump mask.
What?
Stick to sports, Jalen.
What?
That's what I would get.
Stick to sports.
What? Get off the
Stick to
bandwagon.
sports.
That's what I would get.
Female voicemails only today. Let's listen to another voicemail.
Hi, Jalen. Hey, Jacoby. Shout out to Reggie. This is Christina from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Is this a boss move or soft move? My husband watches every Pistons and Lions game, and he's from Detroit. Even if they're losing, he will still watch the game to the very end. And for the whole day, he gets mad at me and the whole family. Is this a boss move or soft move?
Can I take this?
Yeah.
A couple of things. Shout to Kalamazoo. We appreciate you calling in on a Wednesday where we honor women on this program. And as an avid Pistons and Lions fan, I have to admit, I do the exact same thing. Boss move.
Soft move.
Boss move.
Can't get mad at your fan.
Here's why.
Lost.
But here's what's different.
Nothing to do with
I gotta show you the difference. I gotta show you the difference.
Christina's dad.
Here's the difference. There are some people that when they have different issues in their lives, they just bleed into other parts. Mm-hmm. So if you have a bad day at the office, sometimes you take it home and or vice versa.
Sure.
And by no means should this be malicious or mean-spirited.
It sounds like that's what it sounds like to me.
For a level of disappointment and disdain, and the classic case of leaving a sour taste in your mouth, that's what happens when you root for a team that's only won one playoff game in 60 years. You don't think you're gonna be upset ever?
You can't get mad at Christina. Christina isn't the one that threw the interceptions. That's Matt Stafford. I think that call was the dad telling her to call, knowing that you were going to say it was a boss move. That is a soft move. I'm on to your tricks, Christina's dad. I'm on to your tricks. Soft move. Boss move by Christina for calling in the program.
Thank you for the support, Christina. Feel free to call in anytime.
Shout out.
Let's give the people what they want.
Got to give the people time. Give people what they want.
I can't believe it.
That Philip brought his little brother on our mission into orbit.
How long until we get there? How long until we get there? How long until we get there?
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico.
What's this button do? What's this button do? What's this button do? What's this button do?
Don't touch that. Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Detroit! The Detroit Pistons! On the ball fake and the dunk.
Blake Griffin reminded everybody that he is still Blake Griffin on this basket. Won the game with the and one, down by 2 in overtime. Blake Griffin had how many points, Jalen Rose?
50.
How many points, Jalen Rose?
50.
50 points, a career high for Blake Griffin. He has scored 26, 33, and 50, and the Pistons, wait for it, are undefeated. Is this just a blip? Is this just something that we'll remember? Remember when the Pistons were undefeated? Remember they started hot and now they're in the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference?
No.
Or is this for real?
No, this is for real.
Really?
In the Eastern Conference. And let me tell you a couple of reasons why. A healthy Reggie Jackson played efficient, shot 50% from the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Ish Smith has been terrific as the substitute, giving a change of pace, finishing at the hoop, setting up the offense. Andre Drummond will continue to be the anchor amongst the league leaders in rebounds. He will get his offense together. He's actually shooting 3-point shots. But let's get back to Blake Griffin.
Let's get back to Blake Griffin's 50 points.
So here's what happens. You get drafted by the Clippers. Mm-hmm. You play in a big market, and you live up to the hype. You're 20-10-5. You're spectacular. You have mercurial dunks over people. You're must-see TV. But then the Clippers don't meet expectations.
Nope.
And now look at their roster. None of the people from Lob City are on their
CP3 is
team.
gone.
Including
DeAndre's
him.
gone.
And
Lance
Jamal,
Stevenson, gone.
And another guy who scored 30 in yesterday's game, JJ Redick. as well. So they revamped everything that they were trying to do, and Blake dealt with some injuries. And so now you get him to the East. With his size, he can play the power forward. He can play the center. Doesn't matter who guards him defensively, as you saw in yesterday's game. It could be Joel Embiid. It could be a power forward. They were playing without Ben Simmons, but it's a terrific home win for
his
Detroit.
Best. When Blake Griffin is playing his best, he is a versatile Swiss knife of a basketball player. He can pass. He can shoot. You see him hit the threes yesterday. Like, when he is playing at his best, he is unstoppable. However, let's be honest, we haven't really seen it for a couple of years. There's been injuries. Remember, he was beating up on the assistant trainer. Like, we haven't seen it, but when he does put it together, he looks so good. Like, we forgot. I'm not going to lie. I forgot.
Watching him play, he's really graceful and compact. Like, he's not too tall. He's not too bulky. He can dribble really good. He can pass nice. We know about his hops. He can make the 15-footer, but now he's added the three-point shot. Do you know who's leading the NBA in three-point percentage?
Blake Griffin?
Absolutely. 11 for 18. So for him to add that to his game, not only clearly will he be an all-star in the East, but he and Andre Drummond are going to be a dynamic interior duo to be reckoned with.
I've got my eye on the Pistons. I tried to keep them out of the playoffs when I did my predictions, but they're in the playoffs. Like, I just don't see the Hornets beating them. And remember last year you had to eat all that cinnamon? You remember that? Because they missed the playoffs?
Oh, that is why.
That is why. I don't think the Pistons are going to miss the playoffs again. I think the Pistons are in. I really think they are.
Want to run that bet back?
No. I told you they're in. And they're playing really well. And you mentioned Andre Drummond, and I want to show you a play from last night's game that made me furious. Like, just absolutely furious. Watch this. You've seen it by now. Little up fake from Embiid, and then an elbow to the head from Drummond, I guess. Watch this flopportunity. He just takes all advantage of the flopportunity here. That is a floppy poppy move right there. And then he argues with the official to get him ejected and actually gets him ejected. This infuriated me. First of all, he completely fabricated the whole entire incident. I don't think Drummond even intentionally tried to hit him in the face in any way, shape, or form. He barely made contact with Embiid, and then Embiid falls over. Not only that, he falls over and then campaigns to the official to kick him out of the game, and the official complies.
These two gentlemen have a history. I don't know if you realize this. A year ago today, they were just going back and forth about when they see each other, what's going to take place on the floor, because it's competitive banter. I love that about Joel Embiid. He did the exact same thing with Hassan Whiteside. So let's peel back the onion a little bit. When he says somebody can't guard him, Embiid, that's a fact.
Yeah, people can't guard him.
He's 6'11". He has long arms.
Shoot threes.
He can shoot the three. He has a nice handle. Can turn over both shoulders.
He has all those skills. He has all those skills. Why is he doing this floppy poppy thing? Like, why is he doing this? Why?
It's not about the flop.
Yes, it is.
It's about the refs falling for it. See, the league has done a terrific job, and you're going to see this happen. You're going to see Andre Drummond's technical foul, $2,000 be rescinded. You're going to see Joel Embiid fined for flopping.
I like that.
That's going to happen.
I like that.
And you probably will see Andre Drummond also tweeting about that.
You will see that. I guarantee.
And so, again, Joel Embiid isn't lying when he says people can't guard him. Now, he's a terrific player. The problem is that isn't the best matchup always for Andre Drummond. It's just because of their skill sets are different. Now, when Andre Drummond goes out of the game, however, Joel Embiid had a hard time guarding Blake Griffin.
Sure did.
And Blake Griffin scored on him on the post a couple of times. And he also gave him that dribble handoff fake action to go down the lane and actually get the three-point play to win the game.
Yep, right on Amir Johnson. Well, after the game, you'll never believe this, but Joel Embiid had something to say, as he always does. Let's listen.
All I was doing was just talking and playing basketball and, trying to win the game, man. Obviously, on the second one, I think you could see that he hit me, and his hand actually touched my face, so that's his problem, But like I said, I feel like I own a lot of real estate in his head.
Couple things. Own a lot of real estate in his head. That's a cute little thing to say. But he said he touched my face. He didn't hit you. He didn't extend his arm. It makes me think, like, if you look at the replay, you can see that he hit me. No, he didn't, Joel Embiid. You flopped.
Well, you just gave a distinction, is hitting someone's face versus touching.
Touching. Exactly. Yes, you got touched. You got touched.
So when you're the recipient, he clearly knows it wasn't hard or flagrant, but he was just trying to get the call and get Drummond out of the game. If you notice, the reaction was, get him out of here.
Yep, immediately.
For him, it was a smart play. I know he has a flagrant. We got tangled up earlier in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I got called for a foul when Andre Drummond flopped. So now it's a little payback while he has a flagrant, which got him out of the game.
Do you think he has real estate in Andre Drummond's head? I think so. I think a little bit. A little bit.
Well, last year, I go by the record and the stats. The Sixers were 3-1 against the Pistons. This year, the Pistons are 1-0. That's really what we're going to judge. Like, both of these guys are going to put up big numbers.
Of course.
Like, Andre Drummond is going to be amongst the league leaders in multiple categories. Joel Embiid is going to be all NBA and in an NBA, possibly in the MVP conversation.
Not only are the Pistons undefeated, in the Western Conference, the Pelicans are also
undefeated. Look at the Pelicans fly! I'm trying to tell you, the Pelicans can fly!
Anthony Davis and the Pelicans are off to a hot start. Last night against the Clippers, Anthony Davis had 34 points and 13 rebounds, 5 blocks. You said this will be Anthony Davis's last year in a Pelicans uniform. Does this hot start, could a good season from this team keep Anthony Davis there?
I hope so. I've been a person like so many that I'm not mad at players joining up to play with multiple all-stars. No. It just kind of tips the scale when a 73-win team adds an MVP like Kevin Durant. That's what tipped the scale. So I always made sure on this program I gave props to DeMar DeRozan, Lillard, Anthony Davis, all-star level players that re-signed with the team that drafted them. Devin Booker even with Phoenix. I appreciate that. Homegrown, because I know great players don't want to play for multiple teams. LeBron James is an outlier. With that being said, he may want to be out, and I am on the record of saying that as such. That don't mean I'll move him. He still got 2 more years left on his deal. If Jimmy Butler ain't got moved yet, I'm definitely not moving Anthony Davis unless I ultimately have to, or it's just a deal that I can't turn down, because guess what's going to happen this year?
What's that?
He's going to win MVP.
You think Anthony Davis is going to be the MVP this year?
Anthony Davis will win an MVP.
I think if he stays healthy, he's going to be the MVP.
He win an MVP.
I think that's fair. And so, but here's the thing. You're saying 2 things. You're saying, number 1, he's going to win the MVP. Number 2, they're going to trade the MVP at the end of the season.
Second time. I wouldn't.
But you said it was going to happen right here in this room.
I did. If I was them, I would not do it. I said after this year, Anthony Davis is going to find a way to maneuver himself to play with LeBron James in Los Angeles.
I think if he has an MVP season and the Pelicans make the playoffs, there's no way he gets traded.
Here's what I want to see happen. Another all-star level player that isn't already on the team, because I love Drew Holiday. Etan Moore is playing terrific. Mirotic has gotten off to a great start. Shout out to Julius Randle, who's doing well. Shout out to Alvin Gentry. He's been a part of some of the best offenses as an assistant and or a head coach in the game.
But he said he wouldn't trade Anthony Davis for Beyonce, and I just don't believe that.
I want to see somebody in the 2019 class go join him. Not necessarily he have to leave with 2 years left on his deal.
It's time for News That Matters. You a Taylor Swift fan?
I know who she is. I like a couple of her records.
You name a Taylor Swift song? I can't either.
Not off top.
I know who she is, though. She's an attractive young lady. There's a fan of hers, a gentleman by the name of Greer, who's a paralegal. And he's a big fan of Taylor Swift's. He wrote Taylor Swift a love song. He is now suing Taylor Swift because he says he has a legal right to be acknowledged by Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift has acknowledged other fans and therefore set a precedent that this is what she does. So if someone shows her love, appreciates her, gives her a gift, and she acknowledges other people, how is she not acknowledging Mr. Greer? And he is now taking her to court. What? In real life, there's a court case against Taylor Swift because he wrote her a love song and she did not acknowledge it.
We got to put this Slick Rick on the soundboard. Sit down, eat your slice of pizza.
Thank you. That's the appropriate response. That's what the judge should say. That's what the judge should say. When Greer gets in the courtroom, he says, sit down, eat your slice of pizza, and be quiet.
I wish he could go in front of Mathis or Judy, okay? Because those judges will let this guy have it. There's a book that I breezed through a really long time ago. That
I like you said you breezed through, you didn't read it.
But now I'm going to go back and read it. Mm-hmm. It's called Frivolous Lawsuits.
Oh.
And it has so many different things that people try to sue others for. Like, you were doing 55 down the street and I turned my head and all of a sudden I'm wearing a neck brace because I had to turn and watch you drive. Like things that don't even make sense.
Here's the thing that bothers me is this dude is a paralegal. Like, come on. He's not just like some crazy fan.
Well, he is a crazy fan. It just happens to be paralegal.
I guess so.
You underestimating what he does for a living based on his behavior.
Mr. Greer, sit down, eat your slice of pizza, and be quiet. She almost got cut short. Debt. I hate owing people money. When I owe somebody money, it's just like a black cloud that just follows me around. And a lot of people feel this way all the time because they're swimming in different types of debt. If you're carrying revolving debt, that means you're not paying off your card every month, and you could be paying thousands in interest every year that you don't have to. With Lending Club, you can consolidate your debt and pay off credit cards with one fixed monthly payment. Since 2007, Lending Club has helped millions of people regain control of their finances with affordable, fixed-rate personal loans. No more trips to the bank, no high interest on credit cards. Just go to lendingclub.com and tell them about yourself and how much you want to borrow. Pick the terms that are right for you, and if you're approved, your loan is automatically deposited into your bank account in as little as a few days. Lending Club is the #1 peer-to-peer lending platform with over $35 billion in loans issued. Go to lendingclub.com/J&J. That is lendingclub.com/JANDJ. You can check your rate in minutes and borrow up to $40,000. That's lendingclub.com/J&J. Lendingclub.com/J&J. All loans made by WebBank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Jalen Rose, the World Series is here. Last night, Game 1 in Boston was thrilling. It was absolutely thrilling. Jalen Rose is going to get up to get his bat because we're talking about baseball. Kershaw and Sale, what was supposed to be a pitching duo that was going to be dominant, was not. Both teams got at the starting pitchers early, and Eduardo Nunez in the 7th inning had a home run right there to break it open to put the Red Sox up by 4. Jalen Rose, I know it's early in the season. I'm going to do the media thing. I'm going to overreact. Is tonight's Game 2 a must-win for the Dodgers?
Absolutely. They're not coming back to win, 4 out of 5 against this Red Sox team if they go down 0-2. It's just not happening. They have quality pitching. They have terrific hitting, great balance. Their manager is doing a terrific job of shuffling the deck.
When it works out, it looks good.
Keeping Dave Roberts and the Dodgers off balance. So I agree that tonight has to be a must-win for the Dodgers.
Alex Cora looks really good today for putting in Nunez in a pinch hit. It looks really good. When it works out, it must feel really good. See, that was a very important decision for the Red Sox there, putting Nunez in, getting that home run and breaking the game open. But a more important play happened earlier. Your guy, Mr. Betts, what's his first name? Okay. He stole this base when it looked like a hit and run was on. That stolen base, you know what that means, Jalen Rose?
What does that mean?
Free tacos. November 1st, between 2 and 6 p.m., you can go into a Taco Bell and get a free taco courtesy of Mr. Betts.
For some Mexican knitting.
Very important question for you, Mr. Rose. Hard or soft taco?
I prefer soft because I have veneers, but really hard tastes the best.
I like to mix it up. You know who else mixed it up? CP3 and Rondo. Here we are, 3-4 days separated from the incident, and it's still in the headlines. The latest is what Rajon Rondo had to say about Chris Paul in the fallout from their incident. Let's see what Mr. Rondo had to say. He said, quote, "Everyone wants to believe Chris Paul's a good guy. They don't know he's a horrible teammate. They don't know how he treats people. Look at what he did last year when he was in LA trying to get to the Clippers locker room. They don't want to believe he's capable of taunting and igniting an incident." Rajon Rondo, not a big Chris Paul fan. Is there some truth in what Rajon Rondo says about Chris Paul?
There may be, but I'm not going there and allowing him to change the narrative. Let's keep it on the fight. Let's keep it to what happened. Let's understand that these two gentlemen do have a history. They're both aggressive. They're both feisty. They both fight for every inch of the floor. They're both point guards that will fight the other team's center. I like what they bring to the table. However, what happened if Rajon Rondo spit in his face is dead wrong.
We're still saying if?
I'm just saying, like...
We're still saying if about spitting in the face? No, I want to hear it.
I saw the footage, and I've wore a mouthpiece a lot, and I've gotten to altercations verbally, and that, in theory, has never happened when I was talking to somebody.
It didn't even seem like Rondo was talking when it happened.
To come out of my mouth that way. But at the same time, again, I want to keep it towards the incident. What he did was dead wrong. And like Brandon Ingram said, and like I said on this show, they got off easy on them suspensions.
They really
Rondo
did.
threw a punch and spit on somebody, got 3 games.
They really did.
Brandon Ingram ran from half court and threw a haymaker.
Rondo's still saying he didn't spit on Chris Paul. And you're even saying if he spit on Chris Paul. You saw the footage. I saw the footage. He spit on Chris Paul. I don't know why this is still in question. Why is it still in question?
Well, it doesn't have to be in question.
It's not. He wasn't even talking when the spit came out of his mouth.
Either way, both of those guys are really fortunate that they didn't get more games. And obviously the Lakers are too. As a squad that started out 0-3, you never like to have must-wins. But they're playing against their 4th Western Conference opponent tonight. And it's the Phoenix Suns. If the Lakers don't win that game.
We'll be talking about it tomorrow if they don't win.
Okay.
He's going to leave the show tomorrow if they don't win.
That will put their season in a unique spot really early.
Well, Chris Paul was asked about the fight and the suspensions, and here's what he had to say.
I try to pride myself on trying to stay poised as possible, and a situation like that, like I said, I got put in a situation where I got suspended, so you try to prevent that at all costs. Somebody spit on you, to play this long, and that has never happened, but it is what it is. Fellas got to get ready for Utah tomorrow, and I get ready for the Clippers on Friday.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Chris Paul's a sympathetic figure. He got spit on in the middle of a game, and then he got a left in the face. And then he got suspended. Like, what is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? Answer that question. Why is Chris Paul suspended?
This is why the league, in my opinion, initially should have said more games for both of those guys.
By both those guys,
Ingram
and Rondo.
Allow them to appeal and then get them to where they're both missing between 5 and 10 games. It has to be more. That then now validates, okay, Chris Paul did push him in the face. He did retaliate.
He put a finger in his face when he got spit on, though. He got spit on.
Correct. But if Ingram or Rondo would have gotten 8, 9, or 10 games, and then Chris Paul got 2 or 1 game, then it looks more modest.
Yes.
But since one got 4, one got 3, and he got 2, it's like, I might as well have spit in his face.
I got 66% as many games as Rondo did, and he spit in my face. I love the idea that Rondo's still acting like he didn't spit in his face. Well, I just love it. I love it. It's on wax. Like, we saw the spit.
Well, let me tell you what's on wax. One of the guys was on camera, and one of the guys, he read a statement.
There you go. It's a good point. Well, Daryl Morey, one of my favorite GMs, he just subtly tweeted this after he saw Rondo's comments about Chris Paul. What's that, Jalen Rose?
Is that a pot and a kettle that are both black?
That's exactly what that is. I love Daryl Morey so much. Big shout out to Daryl Morey. I mean, let's not forget, both CP3 and Rondo have had some turbulent times in the locker room behind closed doors.
They're edgy players. That's just the personality of who they are. Think about it. They're both not considered wonderful athletes in today's dynamic. Neither play above the rim. And so for them to survive as long as they have and to have the success that they've been able to garner, a lot of toughness and endurance has come with it. And that's who they are as players.
The Denver Nuggets are now 4-0. Do you think there's Gary Harris dunking on the Kings in Sacramento? Is this a blip, or is this something that will continue? Can they really contend in the Western Conference?
This is a trend, and saying contend means you can compete with the Golden State Warriors. And other than the Boston Celtics and or Toronto Raptors, at this point of the season, I don't see any teams in the league doing that.
They beat the Warriors.
Correct. Without Boogie. When they get full strength, it's going to be different. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But I just want to make this all about the Nuggets. They're doing it without Will Barton.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to take a flyer on Michael Porter Jr. in the lottery.
And Isaiah Thomas.
Two of those guys, they hope that they're going to get something out of in the future. But let's talk about the on-court performance. Gary Harris, as you just saw, attacking the basket, can shoot the 3. Mm-hmm. Same with Jamal Murray. Terrific backcourt.
Love that
backcourt. You've lauded, and you said that they were going to come into their own this year. The Joker, everybody knows that guy's, I'm a huge fan of his. The double-doubles, the assists, the how smart he is and how skilled he is really unlocks the floor for role players like Millsap, who's reinvented himself in Denver. So, like, I believe that definitely they'll be a playoff team. I can't necessarily say that they're going to make it to the Western Conference Finals just yet. I don't know if they have that level of depth, but I have big hopes for the Nuggets.
I do too. I just want to curb everyone's enthusiasm right now. They had a great win against the Warriors. That was a great win. But the other teams they have played are the Kings, the Suns, and the Clippers. All three of those teams have no designs of sniffing the playoffs. Like,
correct.
They're all three of those teams are essentially tanking already. So, like, I need to see a little bit more before I start getting excited about the Nuggets.
But it shows you that those teams are on the schedule, which means they're going to have an opportunity to get wins. And they have beaten the Golden State Warriors, as I mentioned, without Boogie, which shows that they can play with the big boys. So it's really impressive. And they have a distinct home court advantage. Mile High is legitimate. That's why they want to get up and down the floor.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a different advantage.
And play fast pace.
I thought you were talking about a different home court advantage that the Nuggets have in Denver.
Yep,
can't imagine what I'm thinking of.
Medicinal.
Well, you talked about Boogie. A gentleman by the name of DeMarcus Cousins, also known as... There's bad news for the rest of the NBA, Jalen Rose. There's bad news for the rest of the NBA. Boogie's practicing. Limited. He's just practicing. Here we see Boogie doing his thing. Good. Yeah, he's got his shirt off. Usually when guys have surgery, they don't take their shirt off for a little bit before they get in shape. But Boogie is practicing. He isn't scrimmaging. But I really think that we're going to see Boogie in the calendar year of 2018 play professional basketball.
So we saw the stats and the productivity clearly with Sacramento. And obviously, graduating to a playoff team in New Orleans, unfortunately, he wasn't truly able to compete the entire time because he got injured. But now is when Boogie now becomes mainstream. And people that have not really paid attention to his track are now going to become fans of his. And the reason why is he scored more points than any guy in the league that hasn't been in the playoffs. And based on him being demonstrative and somebody that argues at the refs and plays emotional and has been in bad situations and reason to be upset.
There was no reason to watch him on a game.
Getting a lot of technical fouls. So for him to now be on a stage where he's needed and is going to be really productive and add all of the things that they're weak at. I'm telling you right now, remember I told you, points in the paint, post-up points, and mid-range points. Those are the weaknesses of the Golden State Warriors. He's immediately going to be an upgrade in all of those scenarios.
How long does it take to incorporate someone with Boogie's skill set into a team like the Warriors?
Overnight.
He does really?
Overnight.
Really?
Here's why. Because the ball has energy and it finds the open guy. It's not like they're coming down each time and saying we're going to designate who we give the ball to. Of course you want KD and Steph to take the lion's share of the shots. But they're getting it off action. They're getting it off movement. And because Boogie can shoot the three, but also handle the ball and make plays with it, he's going to fit right in like a taller version of Draymond Green that has more offensive skills while Draymond Green is better defensively, clearly.
Do you think they will ever dribble down and just post a Boogie?
Yes, of course. No question about it. You have to because they're going to have so many different mismatches and teams trying to switch. That's what you used to do against them. Oh, they got Zaza Pachulia? Oh, we'll live with him on the post. Oh, they got JaVale McGee? We'll live with him on the post. So now you have to pick your poison.
I want the Warriors to win this year. You know why?
Why? So KD can leave?
KD can come to the Knicks. KD can come to the Knicks. I'm rooting for the Warriors. KD's going to look great in the orange and blue in Madison Square Garden. I can't wait. Ask his brother. He's already here.
That'll be a good look.
He's already here. Well, someone else is on the move. Jimmy Butler, still on the Timberwolves. Still here we are. 4 weeks after he first sort of like news broke that he requested a trade. He said he requested a trade months ago. Well,
he said 4 days after the season.
Now we have Brian Windhorst appearing on Alice Kennedy's podcast, and he said that the Heat, Clippers, Mavericks, and Rockets are still putting together packages for Jimmy Butler. Heat, Mavericks, Clippers, and Rockets. Where do you think he would best fit? Where do you think he ultimately ends up?
He probably wants to end up with a team that's going to give him a maximum contract. And I don't see that happening with Houston.
Nope.
Because they've already paid CP, Harden, and Capella. It could happen with the Clippers because they have the cap space. It should be able to happen if you're Miami because you're moving contracts in order to get him.
Yep.
And who was the last team?
Mavericks.
And the Mavericks, of course, they could use an upgrade. I love the fact that they have a terrific young backcourt in Dennis Smith and Luka Doncic.
Adding Butler would be kind of nice.
And probably that would mean costing them Harrison Barnes, which they would do, and requisite pieces to go with it. So I like all of the teams that are in play. Don't be surprised if more teams don't get discussed.
How long do you think it'll be before he gets moved?
Until somebody comes with the right deal. The owner says he wants him moved. And if you're the team, in particular Thibodeau, who also happens to be the head coach, you're not in any rush or any way, shape, or form to make the deal happen.
He rested a game already early in the season.
Against who?
The Mavericks.
I'm just saying. We just talked about them acquiring him.
Do you think it is best for the Timberwolves to play him and have him play well, or to continue to rest him?
I think it's important for him to play and play well, but he living his best life. This is a freestyle year for him. It's freestyle.
Freestyle? What do you mean freestyle year? I want to have a freestyle year.
It's a freestyle.
What's a freestyle year?
Y'all going to Dallas? The bus leave at 10:45? No, I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah.
Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead. I'll see y'all when y'all get back. The fans that was booing me at the beginning of the game giving me MVP chance, and I knew that would happen because he plays with effort.
I feel like every year that you work on this show is a freestyle year for you. I feel like this is a freestyle show for you. Like you treat Countdown and Get Up like they're real jobs. This is just like a freestyle show for you.
You can't say that anymore. Since we moved to ESPN2, I've been dressing. I've been keeping a fresh cut. I ain't gonna say I've been prepping.
Okay, good.
I was about to.
You were about to. I'm glad that you're dressing. I'm glad you're wearing clothing on the show, Jalen Rose. But early days when you didn't wear clothes, it was a little weird. So here we are, Jalen Rose. And we always say we give the people what they want. So part of this is just asking the people to ask us questions and whether things are cultural or regional. We're not talking about stereotypes here. This is just how we explore the nuances of our complicated tapestry of a society.
No doubt.
Are you prepared to explore some of these nuances?
Yes, sir.
Saying the word nuance, cultural or regional?
Universal.
Universal. Okay. The first one is from Wise Man Co.
Shout out.
And he says, baby gender reveals, cultural or regional?
Cultural.
I've never considered doing a baby gender reveal. It seems like they're all they're all like the thing now.
But if you just Google all of the people that have, I think cultural would be the answer.
I'm not sure. Do you think people that look like me or people that look like you are more apt to a baby gender reveal?
People that look like you.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think so. I think it might be universal. I've seen it done. I've never ever considered doing this. I don't know why this is a phenomenon now. Like when you were growing up, did people do baby gender reveals?
Of course not.
I think it's generational. I'm going to go generational with baby gender reveals.
Here's why. Social media didn't exist, so maybe they were happening and the world didn't know about it. I'm pretty sure it didn't just start. I would say it's probably more regional.
Maybe. It's getting more complicated now.
That I think about it,
it's getting more complicated. Like, oh, pop the balloon and the powder in the inside, or I'm going to throw this baseball at you and you hit it and we'll see what the color is, or cut into the cake and we'll dye it.
There's so many people
there's
so many people that have opinions about it, but I like it a lot. Shows solidarity. It's fun. Get your family and friends involved. It's great.
You know what? When my wife was pregnant the second time, we always were like, I wonder if it's a boy or a girl. I wonder if it's a boy or a girl. You know what never crossed our mind? How many are in there? They should have a we don't have twins reveal. Like, thank God we don't have twins. Next, this one's from JView, J-A-View 16. Cultural regional, sleeping with the fan on through the winter. Shout out Reg, shout out the whole crew. Love what y'all are doing, man. So
that's easy.
Sleeping
regional.
With the fan on in the winter.
Regional.
I think that's
not something you're doing in the Midwest and the East Coast
it's regional.
In January,
Oh,
February.
hold on. I do it. I sleep with the fan on. I like circulating the air. I like the sound, the white noise, the hum of the fan. I sleep with the fan on in the winter.
Interesting.
I like that. It might be cultural.
There were times in our house that we didn't have heat. So I understand that theory of somebody using kerosene heaters and using a fan to blow it a little bit just to keep the air fresh. But when it's freezing outside, I ain't trying to have a fan on.
No. You ever slept in a winter jacket before?
Of course. Winter jacket, Scully, socks, outfit.
I called my landlord. I was like, I'm sleeping in a winter jacket.
Yes.
What is happening here?
Yes. Real character.
Next, this person came out with a strong statement, not so much a question. It's Essex. This is a fact. Motorcycles are cultural. Cultural or regional? Motorcycles.
Universal.
Nope, they're cultural.
They're universal.
They're cultural.
They're universal.
They're cultural. When you see someone on a motorcycle, you know they look more like me.
Motorcycle club. Not individual.
Motorcycles are cultural, Jalen. I don't know if you're ready to admit this. And again, there's obviously exceptions to the rule. Don't get at me just because, look, I look like Jalen and I ride a motorcycle. No. I'm just saying, in general, when I see someone with a motorcycle with a helmet on and a tinted helmet, when they take the helmet off, they're going to look more like me than they look like you.
And I know the question is about motorcycles, but they're all different types of bikes. Like, I love mopeds.
What about Harley Davidsons? Those are cultural.
That's cultural.
Harley Davidsons are cultural. We can agree on that.
Yes.
Harley Davidsons are cultural.
JC got one.
Of course he does. Big shout to JC.
Shout out.
And finally, from one of our co-producers, Matthias, one of our international fans.
Shout out.
Watch the result after blowing your nose. I'm going to make a confession here. I've never, ever, ever blown my nose and not looked at it. Never in my life. I've never blown my nose and not looked at it.
I have.
I've never done that.
I have, so that got to be cultural.
You think it's cultural?
How about this?
You're not curious?
How about this?
You're not curious after you blow your nose?
How about this? I'm not curious, but I got a different question for you.
I don't want to know.
No, I'm serious. It's not bad.
Is it going to bother me? Is it going to bother me?
It's not going to bother me.
I don't like it when you derail Revis the show. No. We prepare so much on the show, and then here you go at the end of a segment. You can talk about whatever you want, probably get us fired.
What about when you do a number 2 and wipe your backside?
Okay, that's exactly what I thought you were going to say. That's exactly what I thought you were going to say. And then you said it's not bad.
That's not.
They are definitely going to cancel us.
Everybody goes to the bathroom.
We are definitely getting canceled.
Adults.
We're definitely getting canceled.
Anybody that watches or listens to this show.
I would be shocked if we didn't get canceled.
This is the perfect thing for everybody.
The perfect thing?
Yes.
They put us on national television and listen to what you're talking about.
I'm trying to tell you.
I knew you were going to do this.
Everybody goes to the bathroom. That's
we have a rundown. Stick to the rundown, Jalen Rose.
Just let me know.
Stick to the rundown. Stick to the rundown.
Just let me know.
Stick to the rundown.
Let me know.
Jalen Rose, please keep it clean today on the program.
Always. Highly trained professional.
So, I can't believe we're about to discuss what we're about to discuss. I can't believe this happened. Derek Carr had to go on wax onto Twitter and defend himself and claim that he was not crying during a football game. Let's take a look at the play. He goes back, and his line doesn't protect him, and he goes down. That looked like it hurt. That looked like it hurt. And then there's this replay where he hurts his shoulder. He looks distraught. It looks like he could be crying. Jalen Rose, Crygate, not Spygate. Did Derek Carr cry?
He didn't cry. Even if there were tears coming out of his eyes, I don't consider that like a boo-hoo, which is way different. If a 275-pound man runs as fast as he can and hits you as hard as he can, and another one does the exact same thing, and the play isn't over until the ball is down, you'll see some tears coming from
eyes. And then there are
too.
reports that he's lost the locker room because he cried during the game. I would more likely follow somebody that cried during the game than I would not follow them because they cried during the game.
But here's how that works. The coach and the quarterback both got $100 million deals. Therefore, if they can't move the quarterback, they're going to move everybody that has an issue with Derek Carr.
Do you know why they lost the locker room? Because they traded everybody in the locker room. That's how you lose the locker room.
Correct. If they were 5-1, everybody would be all right.
There's no one in the locker room anymore. That's how you lost the locker room. This whole thing is just kind of crazy to me.
And also, people sleep on the fact they lost Crabtree, too. He was really productive for them, especially in the red zone.
Jalen, you know I cry easy. I cry really easy. I have a confession. I cried during the latest Winnie the Pooh movie.
Did you?
I did twice.
But was it sad?
Yeah, it was emotional.
Okay.
It had a very emotional tone.
So here's what
Winnie the Pooh is, it's emotional, man.
I'm not going to judge you at all because sometimes what happens with men, we're taught to be so bulletproof and not show our feelings and emotions. It's okay to express yourself.
When was the last time you cried? You cry in movies?
I am not.
You're not a big crier.
No, I'm just not a big crier.
I'm going to make that a life goal of mine to make you cry.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Why not?
Because that means something hurt me if I cry. Why would you want to do that?
Because we're friends. I like to hurt my friends' feelings.
That's just wrong.
That's just the type of person I am.
That's just wrong.
I'm sorry.
I'm quitting this program.
Adam Schefter hurt my feelings.
You can call it David and Jacoby.
Adam Schefter hurt my feelings. He tweeted, the Giants traded Eli ... And I fell for it. And so everybody else fell for it too. Adam Schefter's a responsible journalist. Why is he teasing us like that?
Trolling you guys to get his followers up.
Obviously, he's talking about the Giants trading Eli Apple, not Eli Manning. And the latest is they traded Damon Harrison, better known as
Snacks on Snacks.
And where did they trade him to? I'm sorry, what was that? That second one wasn't that strong.
Hey, Snacks, he gets the chance to go from a squad that's tanking to one that's rebuilding. He's trying to do some things.
Is that what we're calling it now?
No doubt
the Lions
about
are
it.
rebuilding?
Yeah.
Trying to do things?
Anytime we beat...
That doesn't sound very confident.
Anytime we beat Brady and Rodgers in the same season, you saw how we just took care of business with the Dolphins. We're trending up. Don't sleep.
Do you still feel like the Lions could win the division?
Yes.
Really?
Well,
really?
Minnesota's the best team in the division.
I would say the Lions are the worst team in the division.
No, stop it.
I would put y'all below the Bears.
No, if you did the show with somebody else, you wouldn't say that. But since you do it with me, they don't get the benefit of the doubt. The tide does not go to the runner.
I'm trying to make you cry. I'm trying to make you cry. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to figure it out.
The Lions, I think, are second or third, depending on what happens if Trubisky can stay consistent. I think for national consumption, Aaron Rodgers is amazing, still playing and dealing with injuries, but they have a lot of holes, in particular on defense.
Will the Giants trade Eli Manning before the deadline?
No.
I don't think they will either.
I don't believe that they will, because when people say that, that means that somebody else is going to look at the Giants and say, you know what? Eli's doing great.
Eli's the guy. He's going to take us over the top.
That to the
how
fans.
Much does he make? $30 million a year? Sure, we can pay him $30 million
let's
to
sell
do
that to the locker room.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're the Jaguars, you're not Eli Manning away from winning a Super Bowl.
No.
You're just not. So don't even bother. Don't give up any assets for Eli Manning.
Now, Teddy Bridgewater, Tyrod Taylor. How about Nick Foles? He only won a Super Bowl last year.
Yeah. Those players can help you win a Super Bowl. Do you know who cannot help you win a Super Bowl? Eli Manning. I'd rather have Peyton Manning than Eli Manning. For real.
That's why he was on the field. Big bruh's smart. He like, people taking shots at my little brother. I'm going to make sure they see the sheriff standing on the field. Let them know I got his back.
The intimidating presence of Peyton Manning?
No doubt.
I'm intimidated by Peyton Manning. Rapper, singer, and tattoo haver Post Malone. I like Post Malone.
I do too.
His songs are really good. I don't want to like Post Malone, but when I listen to it, I like it. Tattoos are questionable. Some questionable decisions he's made with the tattoos there. A lot of questionable decisions he's made.
Well, that's spoken from somebody that doesn't have any tattoos. Anybody that gets them, somebody else can say it's questionable. That's just how it works.
Hey, dog, he says always tired on his face, under his eyes. That's not questionable to you?
Not if he's always tired. You're not around him all of the time.
I'm not around him at all.
You know, when he's not in the studio, he's sleeping.
What if he gets a good night's rest? He looks in the mirror and says always tired on his face. He's probably
still tired. He's a great song maker.
I'm
a huge fan of his. Anybody out there that can hear my voice, let him know that he's more than welcome to join our program.
Okay. Jalen Rose, you and Post Malone have more in common than bad tattoos.
See?
Post Malone. You familiar with Postmates?
I am.
He ordered over $40,000 of Postmates last year. 660 deliveries in 52 different cities. When he's on tour, he gets Postmates, and not only does he get Postmates for himself, he gets it for the whole entire crew, which is something that Jalen Rose does at least once a week. Like once every 2 weeks, you get food for the whole entire crew. But Jalen, I have to ask you this question. I want to live this lifestyle. I want to get face tattoos. I want to order $40,000 worth of food. I want to sit on the couch all the time. Look at me right there. Look at all that greasy food I got in my nice modern apartment. I mean, I would decorate the walls a little bit better. What do you think about those tattoos?
I like your outfit. The tats don't go well for you. The eyebrows are a little bushy, but it's all natural. You look handsome. It's a fat apartment.
You see the I Love Soup tattoo?
Here's the thing that stands out to me.
No kids.
What would Jacoby do without the kids?
That's the thing, is I would be ordering Postmates. I would be ordering so much Postmates if I didn't have the kids. So much Postmates. So do you think I should order $40,000 worth of Postmates next year?
You probably order $40,000 worth of food anyway. It's just that they're not delivering it to you, and it's not on Postmates where you can't see how much it costs. We all spend money eating out more than you realize.
You think I spend $40,000 eating out? You're so rich. You're so rich you have no concept of what money is. You have no idea what things cost.
All right,
you are so rich. Sometimes I forget how rich you are.
Let me just.
I really do. No, don't break it down. Last time you freestyled, last time you went freestyle, you started talking about poop on the show.
Here's what I mean. Like the gas in the car.
Okay.
The time it takes going to the market. All of the things you buy at the market. The time it takes to cook. The time. it takes to order food when you go to a restaurant.
What are you
How much
talking
a
about?
tab at a restaurant? If you take that in totality, I'm pretty sure you spent $40,000 on a family of 4.
You're talking about time.
You got a family of 4.
This
time is money.
We got time for one more female voicemail on this beautiful Wednesday.
Let's get it.
Hi, Jalen and Jacoby. Shout out to Reggie. This is Jennifer in Oregon, longtime listener, first-time caller. I have a question, cultural, regional, or generational. My husband said it's not okay to say the bomb. I call things the bomb that I really like. He said it's too 90s. However, I heard Jalen say the bomb on the October 19th pod. So, question, is it okay or not okay to call things the bomb? Thanks so much. Hope to hear from y'all soon. Bye.
Jennifer.
Winner.
Shout out.
Here's the thing. Jalen doesn't even know it yet, but he's washed. And I'm washed. We're not suited to be answering these questions.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I think calling things the bomb is a bit outdated.
Yes,
personally.
we are. Yes, we are.
Do I know what you mean when you call it the bomb? I think that's fine. But Jennifer, you sound like a young lady. You should be on to news.
Not true. Not true. Not true.
See?
Let me give you some game. Let me give you some game, David.
Go ahead, Uncle Jalen.
I love music. And one of the things I appreciate about being a child of the 70s who happens to be from the Midwest,
Shout out.
we got the flow from the West Coast. We got the flow from the East Coast. We had Motown. Is that it gave me a depth in music that I felt was unparalleled when I started to travel and meet people from other cities and states. I could draw and talk about Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel, and I could talk to you about Kendrick Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
I could talk to you about Teddy Pendergrass or the Four Tops or the Jackson 5. Or I could talk to you about any current artist today. And so the reason why I bring this point up is I purposely use terms from other generations and or decades that I like. Because all of the things that are happening now usually have been recycled. Whether it's bootcut pants, how you rock different outfits and jackets and blazers. Like all of that stuff recycles. Like you think you're doing it for the first time, but it's actually been done before. And like Kawhi Leonard with his braids, whether it goes out of style or not, I'm still doing it when everybody else starts to do it again.
Is the bomb where you want to draw the line though? Calling things the bomb?
It's something I use, so yeah.
It's because you're washed.
That's why I purposely wear Cartiers. I purposely wear Gazelles. Because things just it's another reason too. I'm going to buy all of the things that I wanted as a child that I couldn't afford. I don't care what nobody.
What's still on the list? What's still on the list?
No, there's nothing else.
I was about to say, I think you got it all covered.
I'm going to not only buy them and wear them. So you see me rocking Pumas, Jacoby would tell you, I've been waiting my whole life to have an unlimited supply of size 15 Pumas. So you're going to see me rocking them. Ever since B Street, Wild Style, Breaking, Crush Groove. So it's okay to do things now that happened in the prior decade because be a leader, be a tastemaker. People will follow you.
Okay. Old man.
You do a lot of older things.
That answer was the bomb, Jalen. That was the bomb. That doesn't sound a little funny to you?
Bomb diggy.
That doesn't sound a little funny to you?
Nah.
It doesn't feel right coming out of my mouth.
Nah.
That's the bomb. I want to appreciate all of our callers. Women Crush Wednesday, Tribe, Christina, Jennifer.
Hate the term crush.
We always appreciate your calls.
Shout out.
We're going to be back tomorrow with another dope pod to step to. Why is that, Jalen?
We're not done.
We're not done. We're not done. Got to give the people time. Give people what they want.
They my little guys. I love them.
Speaking of the Hobbits, let's talk about LeBron James.
Whether it's music or whiskey, in New Orleans, every note matters. And every sip of Southern Comfort dances to the same vibe as our birthplace. So drink it in. Southern Comfort, the spirit of New Orleans. Discover more at SouthernComfort.com.